Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I hope you're having an incredible start of your week. I hope Monday was incredible for you. Happy Tuesday morning. Ricky Caruth here. I'm reporting on the existing home sales. It's going to come out any second here. Um, and there's a lot of data coming up over the next week or so. Next Monday, I'm going to report all of these different reports live to you. But we have new home sales, new construction data coming out Monday. We have the Case-Shiller report coming out next Tuesday. And we have pending home sales coming out next Thursday. So I'm going to start bringing you guys these reports live with my commentary, etc. And today I want to get into also new construction mortgage data. There's some very interesting new construction mortgage data, in a time when people are saying builders going under and, builders are getting desperate and everything else. It's a wild world we're living in here. Also, JP Morgan came out with an article that I found extremely interesting about affordability and when homes are going to get more affordable. And I thought this was interesting because the timeline and how we actually get there according to JP Morgan to me was very realistic. So I want to dive into that as well. And also the National Association of Realtors forecast. We're getting the data this morning from the National Association of Realtors. And it's just pure data. It's their reports. And but let me know in the comments where you are watching from. And while we wait on the new homes report to come out, it should be hitting any second now. We'll go through the data together here so that we can fully understand kind of what happened last month with existing home sales, kind of where we are in the year compared to last year and compared to the previous month, and so on and so forth. Also, let me know like how your business is. Let me know in the comments how's business for you. Is your market seem slow right this second? Are you still seeing multiple offers? We're seeing some markets where the slight pull, I'd say slight, it was actually been a big pullback in mortgage rates. It went from 8% to around 7.4 on a national average. So you've got people that are quoting in the mid sixes. I know a lot of people that locked in low sixes in the last week or so. And we've got some listings out there that are seeing multiple offers, because of that moment where we're seeing these lower rates compared to where they were. And if you look at like mortgage payments, mortgage payments obviously peaked out when mortgage rates hit about 8%, but they're down a good $200-300 since then on a national average. Let's see, just had a listing with multiple offers. RK, where are you? What market are you in? Good morning, Kevin. What's good? Jordan, what's happening? Yeah, Derek, what's up? What's up? Tuning in from all over the place. So let's I don't want to miss this report here. If let's see, it's 9 o'clock on the dot. Yeah, I want to be ready to watch this. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
While lawmakers have fallen behind on regulating this
Give me a
technology.
thumbs up if you can hear.
There's a history of Austin wanting what I
sound
have.
in Charleston.
There's so many levels of betrayal here.
Y'all hooked up.
We kissed. There's a big difference.
Home
Kiss and
sales.
tell. What do you think happened?
Exchange of fluids.
Let me know if you guys heard
What
that right there. I'm
disaster.
gonna go
What
back.
you-
Okay, cool. So if you look at data, if you look at how this whole thing goes, a lot of people are kind of, really slow right this second. Guys, I'll show you some data in just a second once we get past this report. It always picks up right after the first of the year. Like you need to be biding your time right now to expand your influence in your market, as in how many people know who you are. You need to be like going all in on your marketing. Let's see. Good.
Good Tuesday morning and welcome to another hour of Squawk on the Street. I'm Sarah Eisen with Carl Quintanilla and David Faber, live for you from Post 9 of the New York Stock Exchange. Take a look at stocks this morning. It's a little bit under pressure, nothing extreme. Dow's down about 78 points. S&P down 1/3%. Overall, though, the trend has been higher as far as what's working inside the market. Materials and healthcare are two sectors that are green today. Everybody else is red. Under pressure the most, you've got groups like energy, consumer discretionary, and technology. That's why the NASDAQ is selling off a little bit harder. It's down 0.6%. We are 30 minutes here into the trading session. Here are some movers we're watching. Slew of retail names, either surging or plunging on the back of their latest earnings and outlooks. We're going to break.
Okay, I don't think that we're to the home sales portion of this yet. But back to what I was saying here, I'm going to show you guys the data. Actually, let me write this down to remind myself. I want to show you the data where nationally the market picks up. Nationally, the market picks up January 1. You see an uptick in pending deals. And then later on, let's see, here we go.
Month to month to a seasonally adjusted annualized rate of 3.79 million units. That's according to the National Association of Realtors. Sales down 14.6% year over year. That's a big miss. The street was looking for a smaller drop to 3.9 million. And this is the slowest sales pace since August of 2010. That, if you may recall, was when the homebuyer tax credit expired. Now, these are closed sales, which represent contracts signed in September, which is when mortgage rates really took off, going from right around 7% on the 30-year fix to over 8% in October, falling back this month, of course. Now, supply edged up 1.8% from September, but still down 5.7% from October of last year to just 1.15 million units. At the current sales pace, that's a 3.6-month supply, a little more than half of what is considered a balanced market between buyer and seller. Tight supply keeping pressure under prices. The median sale price in October, $391,800, up 3.4% year over year, and that is an all-time high for October. Realtors noted that multiple offers are still occurring, especially on starter and mid-priced homes, while price concessions are rising on the higher end of the market. Sarah?
That weird dynamic, Diana, where we're seeing this decline steepen in sales, and yet prices are at a record?
Yeah, and that's because there is still very strong demand out there and such tight supply. Where you're not seeing the price gain so much is on the higher end of the market, where there's so much more available supply for sale. That's where you're seeing the price concessions. But when there's really nothing for sale on the lower end and there is still that very strong demand, you're seeing multiple offers and bidding wars, if you can believe it.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard to believe. Thank you very much, Dan Olek. Digesting that existing home sales data. Guys, it's one where we have a lot of quotes to talk about from the retailers just to figure out what's going on with the consumer, because there's a lack of macroeconomic data, but not a lack of color and commentary. So here's Burlington Coat Factory. You know, I like to pick out these comments, which actually had a good quarter, but on the outlook, here's what the CEO says. Although we believe that over the next 5 years, we can achieve average.
Okay, I think they're moving into other things there. Let me remove that. Okay, we got it. Here's the homes report. Let's dive into it. Let me remove that. And then let me do a few things here so I can show you guys the actual stats on the back end. Let's see. Boom, boom. And then we will dive right into this. Let's see. Bam, bam. Let me know what you think about that in the comments right this second. All right. Bam, bam. Remove. Okay. So did you guys hear what she said? And let me find the actual report that just hit. Okay, so last month sales report, this is September. All right, we were at 3.96 million. Now, this is the last report. Okay, this isn't this report. I'm going back one report to September. Month over month, we were down 2%. Year over year, down 15%. So it picked up, or it slowed down. We were down 14.6% this report. Median sales price was 394. Right. And then this month it was 391. So went down a little month over month. Now let's dive into, here we go. All right. So existing home sales receded 4.1% in October. So from September to October, we went down 4.1%. Okay, existing home sales descended 4.1% in October to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 3.79 million. Okay, that is crazy low. Okay, we had 4 million sales in 2008. They compared this to August That was compared to August of 2010. Okay, number of transactions of existing home sales. Sales slumped 14.6% from 1 year ago. Median existing home sale price climbed 3.4% from 1 year ago to $391,800. The fourth consecutive month of year-over-year price increases. Okay, and she mentioned on there that is an all-time high for October. Okay, $391,800 on the median home price in America is an all-time high for the month of October. That's huge. The inventory of unsold existing homes grew 1.8% from the previous months to 1.15 million at the end of October, equivalent of 3.6 months of supply at the current monthly sales pace. So when you talk about months of supply, it has a lot to do with not only the amount of inventory that you have, but also the pace of sales. And we know that the pace of sales is down 14.6% year over year. You could have a place where inventory only grew by 1.8%, right, which is really small, but yet the months of supply increased just because inventory didn't really move a whole lot, but the pace of sales, increased. Okay. Set 3.79 million. All right. Year over year sales tumbled 14%, down from the 4.4 million in October 2022. So we know that sales are extremely slow. We already know that. We know that we're at 2008 levels when it comes to existing home sales. And I've been telling you guys, this is your 2008. You better get excited about the fact that you know how many people back in that went through 2008 wishes they could go back in time and go back to 2008. Do you know how many people? And I'm one of them. And I'm looking at this like, thank you, Jesus, that we have this moment in time, because not only are we down transaction wise and the market is retracted, but prices haven't went down. We just hit an all-time high in October, ladies and gentlemen. That's incredible. And it's not like it's not like it jumped up 10, 20%. It jumped up 3%. Okay. I want to dive into JP Morgan, what their forecast is here for affordability, getting back. They have it pinpointed here for how many years it's going to take for the market to get back to where the average American can afford a home. I find it extremely interesting. I also want to talk about Redfin data. I want to show you a chart that illustrates where the market picks up January 1st. This is the deadest moment that you're going to see in a long, long, long time. Even next winter is not going to be like this at all. Every fall, every winter, we see a downside. We see prices soften. We see days in the market go up. We see inventory pick up every single year. Even 2021, the year of the boom, we saw this happen. But next year's not going to be as bad as this year. So I want you to realize that this is the moment right here. And after January 1st, things are really going to pick up. Let's look at new homes, mortgage applications. Okay. New home purchase applications up nearly 40% in October. Let me make this larger for you. Okay. This is huge because a lot of people are talking trash about builders. They're saying, new construction builders are, getting correct. No, mortgage applications for new home purchases during October were up by 6% from September and up 40% from 1 year earlier. 40%, according to new data from the Mortgage Bankers Association. Mortgage Bankers Association estimated new single-family home sales were running at a seasonally adjusted rate of 715,000 units in October, up 12.8% from September. Okay, from September on an adjusted basis. They estimated that there were 55,000 new home sales last month, an increase of 7.8% from 51,000 new home sales in September. All right, now obviously that is, with the home sales, that's closed deals. You have to think, okay, it takes about 6 months to build one of these. You're probably 6 to 8 months back in terms of contracts going in place. However, this is mortgage data, people actually putting in mortgage applications to go buy new construction. So this is actually telling you like, okay, the sales, that's an indication of what the market was 6 to 8 months ago, but the mortgage applications tells you what the demand is today. So I want you to understand the difference there. All right. Because some people are going to try to construe the data here and say, oh, well, 55,000, that's where the market was back then. But they don't want to share with you the fact that mortgage applications on new construction homes were up 40% year over year and 6% month over month. Okay. And this is when rates were still higher. Of course, new construction builders, they're offering way lower rates. We have here in Gulf Shores, D.R. Horton is offering 4.9% for a primary home. If you buy a primary home at D.R. Horton here in Gulf Shores, you're going to get a 4.9% right now today. And that's probably a little lower because that was a week or two whenever they came out with that. So I'm sure it might be even around 4.6, 4.8, even 4.5, because we went from 8% on the national average to right now we're at 7.4%. The average loan size for a new home decreased from 397,000 in September to 390. So this is the loan size of new homes. This isn't the median sales price. The loan for new homes went from 397 to 390. Okay. By product type, conventional loans composed of 63% of the loans. FHA composed of 26%. So 26% FHA. That's people moving into the homes. Also, VA loans accounted for around 10%. So these are primary home owners that are moving in. All right. Purchase activity for newly constructed homes continued its upward climb in October, with purchase applications up 40% compared to a year ago, the 9th consecutive monthly annual growth. Okay. 9th consecutive monthly annual growth for purchase applications, mortgage applications. Home builders have been able to temper this high rate environment by offering buyers rate buy downs and other incentives. We estimate the pace of home sales increased for the third straight month to a 715,000 unit annual pace, the strongest sales month since May 2023. So back in May, in the spring, right, coming into the summer, that's normally the hottest time of year. We're actually back the strongest sales month since then in terms of new construction. The FHA share application increase to 26%, the highest since the survey began in 2013. Okay. As for more first-time home buyers turn to the new home market for more options as some builders start to build more starter homes. So you've got also first-time home buyers. That percentage jumped from 26% last year to 32% of homes that are bought over the past 12 months have been first-time home buyers compared to the 12 months prior. So it went from 26 to 32. Now, the average since 1980 has been 36% of home sales are first-time home buyers. So we're not back to normal. Okay, we're not back to where we were, but it went from 26 to 32. And that's going to continue to climb because we've got such a demographic of first-time home buyers. Now, I want to get in again. I want to show you the charts on Redfin with the increase of sales activity January 1st, because I think that's what's very exciting for us as real estate agents to get out there and really build our business now, go all in, expand our footprint, and really get ready, because this is the calm before the storm, ladies and gentlemen. 2024 is going to be your year. Also, I'm doing 2024 goal setting session next Friday. Okay, Friday, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. Text me. 251-312-8844 to make sure you're getting my text messages so you can get a link for that, so you can be there for that. When will the crisis in the U.S. housing affordability end and how? Now, I thought this was extremely interesting by JP Morgan. I read this and I thought, man, they really hit the nail on the head, in my opinion. Let me blow this up and share with you guys this, because this really kind of lays it out for me. I'm like, okay, we think rising incomes can break the U.S. housing market's logjam nationally in about 3 to 5 years. But for large cities, we see an average over the next 5 years. Here's why. So this is interesting. They lay it out. Okay. They're not talking about prices coming down. They're not talking about interest rates coming down. Okay. They're talking about it's going to be a little bit of interest rates, but mostly going to be time going by and wages increasing over the next couple of years to catch up with where housing affordability is. The first good news, the United States hasn't plunged into a recession. Despite more than a year of interest rates, the economy has shown resilience beyond most economists' predictions. But the Federal Reserve still hasn't beaten down inflation completely. And the economy's strength could be more long-term than a phase of the economic cycle. Many market participants now believe interest rates will stay higher for longer, and this has prolonged a set of tough challenges in the housing market that have almost put it into a state of suspended animation. Okay, the difficulties. Okay, and this lays it out right here for anybody wondering. The U.S. Home prices are currently at all-time highs, right? We just hit an all-time high. We just got the sales report, and we're at all-time high for October. And less affordability relative to income and mortgage rates than at the height of 2006 housing bubble. Okay, less affordable than 2006. Okay, that's when the housing bubble was at its peak. That's after prices skyrocketed about 40% during the pandemic. Okay, sales of existing homes are very depressed, down to 2008 levels, as bad as after the financial global crisis. Yes. While buyers wait for prices to fall, sellers won't list their homes because they don't want to sacrifice the low mortgage rates they locked in before the fastest, most aggressive rate hiking cycle in 40 years. Prices aren't falling because the market is stuck. Okay, demand has been reduced by high mortgage rates, but supply is even more restricted because of the severe underbuilding in the 2010s relative to population growth. So they're blaming a lot of this on the underbuilding, under construction, lack of supply. They say, you know, there's studies, and I want to dig deeper into this, and I'll do a video when I really find the answer. People say that we're 5 to 6 million units short in the U.S. Okay, I believe that could be true, but I want to know how they came up with that and what data they're actually looking at. How does these issues get resolved and when? Okay, rising incomes can restore affordability given enough time. First, here's how we don't think the crisis will be resolved: through a crash in home prices. So JP Morgan does not believe that this crisis of unaffordability is going to get resolved by home prices coming down or some kind of crash. Because a lot of people have it in their head, oh, well, the market has to crash. Home prices have to crash for this thing to straighten itself out. No, I've been talking about this for a while. Wages will continue to increase. That will be a factor. I actually learned that from my friend Barry Habib. Dude's a genius when it comes to this. And you know, with affordability, with wages increasing every year, that's going to play a big part in us getting back to a normal affordability when it comes to housing. Okay. The perhaps natural assumption is that the housing market can only return to a more normal state of affordability and predictable price appreciation after a drop in home prices effectively clears the market and it begins a new cycle. This is certainly not an impossibility, but that would likely require a U.S. recession and a spike in job losses across the economy, neither of which are our base case for the coming years. JP Morgan does not believe we're going to see a U.S. recession of any magnitude or a spike in job losses. Nor do we think lower mortgage rates are the solution to clearing the logjam. Indeed, surveys of home buyers find consistently that financing rates aren't their main motivators when they make a purchase. Life stages are. People buy homes when they get married or when they need to move, as they find employment, have children, or retire. We see another pathway that doesn't involve punishing price declines or sizable drop in mortgage rates. It hinges on home affordability. Housing affordability could be restored by incomes continuing to rise at a robust rate. We think that the path to affordability for starter homes, as well as the luxury market, is that wages rise to catch up and meet the higher cost. Okay, wages increasing to catch up with the higher costs. When will a home be affordable again? How long might it take to restore average levels of affordability based on historical ratios of home prices to income and factoring in mortgage rates? If incomes were to keep growing at the recent pace, okay, they're not even trying to predict that incomes are going to rise even faster than what they're growing right now. Okay. So how long will it take to restore average levels of affordability for homes if incomes were to keep growing at the recent pace, mortgage rates didn't decline, and home values stayed at all-time highs? Okay, so all they're saying is that if mortgage rates stay the same, home prices stay the same, and income continue to grow at the pace it's growing right now, how long would it take to get back to housing affordability? All right. Their answer, 3.5 years. So they're talking about 3.5 years. What would that be? 23, 24, 25, 26. So mid 27. If everything stayed the same. I think the problem there is that prices will continue to rise, but mortgage rates will come down. So hopefully that'll balance out. And you add in incomes rising, household incomes, then we should be in good shape over time. It's going to take time. Our analysts of the timing is notably sensitive to mortgage rates. If the market's pricing of mortgage rates were to fall by just 1%, okay, U.S. homes could be affordable again in just 2 years. But that's assuming that prices stay the same. I'm sure that they're saying if prices stay the same, if mortgage rates come down 1% and incomes continue to grow like they're growing now, then we've got 2 years. I think even if mortgage rates come down, prices will adjust for that upward. We're still going to be looking at 3 to 5 years when it comes to housing affordability based on, incomes rising. Based on the current trends, housing affordability could be restored in 3 to 5 years. So this chart here shows this dotted line here in the middle is the 1991 to 2006 average. Okay. And that's kind of where you want to be. You want to be around this dotted line here. Okay. And this big dark blue line, that is the housing affordability index. And you see we're at an all-time low down here. Like this is as bad as it's been. Here's where we were in 2006. And here's where we are now. And they think over time, getting to 2027, we're going to slowly come back to here. And you kind of see their prediction that it's not going to get any worse. And I agree with that, right? It can't get any worse because people just can't afford. They're just going to just stop. They're just going to stay where they are. They're going to live with their mom. They're going to, get roommates, whatever. And that entire situation is just going to continue. Because you can't go any lower. I'm sure you guys would all agree that you can't get any lower. I also agree with JP Morgan that home prices aren't gonna, that the answer isn't home prices crash. I think the answer is time. Time goes by and affordability gets better through rising incomes, household income, and mortgage rates slowly coming down. I also think prices will continue to increase. Let's see. And then home prices vary by metro area. So they get into some locality stuff. Right here, we see, and this is kind of a mixed bag, right? And this is how the market always is. You've got the markets that are, doing, better than others, and that gets you to the national average. Redfin put out some data. Matter of fact, let me find that. Let's see. Let me find that really quickly for you. Let's see. Let me find that. I want to share that with you really quickly. And then I want to move on to some more data. Redfin. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this was the highest share of home price drops. No, that's not what I wanted. Let's see. Okay, here was the homes. Let me blow this up a little bit. Where home sale prices decreased the most. Northport, Florida, 8%. Austin, Texas, 7%. Honolulu, 4%. New Orleans, 4%. San Antonio, 3%. Fort Worth, Texas, 3%. Tampa, Florida, 7%. Jacksonville, 1%. Cape Coral, Florida, 1%. Boise, Idaho, 1%. These are where home sale prices, okay, where home sale prices decreased the most. Okay, so in a year where mortgage rates went way up, and you've got everybody on YouTube saying the market's going to crash and burn. Isn't it crazy, guys, by the way? Isn't it insane the amount of hate the market has gotten this year? Like prices are going to just crash and burn. And you got all these fear mongers. You got all these people on YouTube doing videos like the market's going to crash tomorrow. The market's going to crash tomorrow. It's crazy. It's insane. But here we are. These are the worst places. 8% Northport, Florida, 7% Austin. These are the worst places. Now, when you talk about national average, listen, there's always going to be houses every single year. There's going to be markets where prices are down for the year, and there's going to be places where prices are up for the year every single year. And that's how you come up with a national average. And here we see where prices increase the most. Lake County, Illinois, 16%. Newark, New Jersey, 15%. Camden, New Jersey, 14%. Hartford, Connecticut, 13%. New Haven, Connecticut, 13%. Anaheim, 12%. San Jose, 11%. Knoxville, 11%. West Palm Beach, 11%. Cincinnati, Ohio, 10%. So you've got, markets that are down, markets that are up. Okay. But back to this article here, JP Morgan, just want to kind of, summarize this up. I thought this was very interesting. It's what I've been thinking about the entire time this has been happening over the last 2 years. Let's just say that this whole thing is going to get solved by household incomes increasing, the market leveling out a bit, still increasing, but slightly, not seeing the double-digit increases on prices, and mortgage rates coming down a tad. That's how all of this is going to get solved. So just remember, guys, time heals all wounds, and that's going to be true with the market as well. We're going to be just fine. I want to dive over to the Redfin data here because I want to show you guys, just in case you haven't seen, I want you to understand the way that the market behaves every single year here. So let's first look at homes sold. All right, every single year you see this decrease. You see this decrease? All right, it's coming down. Okay, and it always comes down to about the end of January. And then guess what? It starts spiking up. It starts spiking up, and it always peaks out about mid-year, and then it kind of dwindles down. Even 2021. Right? The year of the boom, guys, it did the same thing. It peaked out mid-year and it dwindled down, even in the year of the boom, guys. Okay. Well, it didn't happen in Miami. It didn't happen in New York. Yeah, it did. I can show you. I could go in here and show you the data, real data. You're just going by feel and I'm going by numbers. But this is home sales. So we have to realize about home sales is these are closed deals. So right here, closed deals started happening, right? Towards the 1st of February, the first couple weeks of February, which means what? Which means that the homes that closed went pending 30 days or so before that, which is what? January 1st. January 1st, guys. This is my target right here. Let's look at pending. So you see pending, you do have a slight decrease there right at the beginning, but then it picks up really soon. It picks up like the first week or so of January. Okay. Again, let's look at home sales. You see it's down and it doesn't spike back up, till like late January, early February. Same thing with pending deals. It kind of starts, but you see it picks up about 30 days before the home sale starts spiking. Home sale spiking, pending deal spiking. The pending deals are the ones that are closing at the end of February. So you see, we start out and it's kind of slow right then. Okay. This is national, of course. You can dig into your local data, but this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. All right. This is what I want you to get out of this. And then I'm going to move on to some more forecasting and stuff. Sales are going to pick up incredibly after the first of the year. Don't let this market fool you. If this is your first time around with the market cycle and things getting really slow, don't worry about it. You need to go all in. I mean, all in, talking to as many people as you can. Go all in on your marketing. Go all into your phone calls. Go all into your weekly email. Go all in on everything you do, the handwritten notes, everything. I want you to go all in on everything to just try to talk to as many people as you can. If you're sitting around in the office staring at a computer and you're not doing anything to try to communicate with people at scale, to try to build your business, because two things happen when you do that. You build your database, which is basically loading up for after the first of the year. When the market rebounds, you're going to be crushing it. The bigger you can get right now with your database. The second thing that's going to happen is you're going to squeeze a couple of deals out. Just as a byproduct of trying to build your database, you're going to squeeze a couple of deals out during the month of November, December, you're going to squeeze a couple deals out that's going to kind of keep you afloat. But if you sit around saying, oh, the market's slow, I'm not going to do anything, what's the worry? Well, what does it matter? Nothing's going to happen. The market's slow, blah, blah, blah. Then you ain't going to do nothing. Your business isn't going to double next year. This is the moment right here that you double your business. Your business isn't going to double next year, nor are you going to do any deals today? Because you're just saying, oh, well, nobody's doing anything, so why should I do anything? Okay, that's how low producers think. Okay, are you a low producer? Because that's how low producers think. Now, let's move over. Let's see what else I got. We talked about new home applications. Builders are suffering. Okay. We talked about JP Morgan and when affordability is going to get better in the country. And I stand by this. Like forecasting things and trying to predict things is with a grain of salt. I mean, none of this matters, right? What's going to happen is going to happen. It's normally going to be way different than what anybody predicts. That has been proven time after time after time after time. But when you think about the timeline of this, and they're not giving you the quantum leap here, oh, it's going to be better next year. They're saying 3 to 5 years here. This is, to me, the most realistic forecast that I've seen concerning this. And back in 2008, when I got back in real estate from going homeless and everything, and I ended up crushing it, it was because I looked at the market and I realized this is crazy, where the market was going to be in the next 3 years. It's funny they say 3.5 years, because as an agent coming back, learning what I learned, I looked at the market over a 3-year period, and I said, okay, foreclosures are just rampant. There's so many of them. I don't want to be a foreclosure agent because I'm basically the bank's bitch. I'm going to go out here and represent people that buy these foreclosures and create lifelong relationship with those clients. And then in 3 years, when market comes back, prices go up, they're going to sell that property for a profit, buy something else. There's 3 deals from that person. Refer me 3 or 4 people. There's 3 or 4 more deals. And then those people will buy and sell with me for the rest of my career. And that's exactly what happened. So I looked at it over a 3 to 5 year outcome. And I said, here's where the market's going to be. Let me put myself in position to crush it then. And by 2014, I was selling 100 properties a year. This is your 2008. You can visualize where this is going to be over the next 3 years, right? We're going to get back to affordability. Household incomes are going to increase. Prices are going to stay pretty level. Okay. Mortgage rates are going to ease down. I don't think we're going to see this big drop where it just makes the market explode, but I think we will see some markets that start to see some multiple offers. We're already seeing multiple offers come back in some markets just because of the little 0.5% drop on mortgage rates. This is a very, very good. This is a very good article. All right. Lawrence Yun, is 18% home sales by year over year. All right. He's optimistic. He's predicting 6 to 7% mortgage rates by spring. Now, it's hard to predict mortgage rates. I mean, it is hard. A lot of mortgage people said that by the end of this year, mortgage rates would be around 5%. All the big mortgage people, even Barry Habib, said mortgage rates were going to get down in the 5s by the end of the year. We ain't even close. Ain't even touched 5, nowhere near 5. Now, the one thing that all these people were correct on were that transactions would be down and home prices would be up, and they definitely wouldn't crash. That's one thing that they were correct on. So you can't be right on everything, but all right. So we talked about this and how I need you to be 100% prepared to go out here and absolutely crush it. And the only way to do that is to build your go to the moon with your database right this second. Okay. Because here's pending. It always happens every year, every single year, guys. This is going to shoot up. And this year's going to be crazier than ever. And then home sales, it takes some time. It's a delayed reaction because these are the closed sales from the pending deals that start closing. Ching, 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 ching. It's going to happen every single year. You better be on your grind right now, ladies and gentlemen, not thinking about poor me and the market. You need to be thanking your lucky stars that the market is the way it is right this second. All right. I'm doing my 2024 business planning session. That's going to be live. Just text to me at this number if you want the link. It's 251-312-8844. 251-312-8844. 888-866-8844. Let me know what you think in the comments. I love you guys so much. I'm going to be live next week. Let me tell you what I'm going to be live doing. I'm going to be here giving you the new home sales report. That's Monday. Case Shiller's coming out with their monthly report Tuesday. And we have pending home sales next Thursday. Those will all be live reports right here with me, Ricky Carruth, on YouTube. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Let's get it.